To provide contextualized guidance, we are going to look at the Dropout Prevention IES Practice Guide. As we look at this guide, we will make connections to your work of installing a multi-tiered system of support in your school and/or district. As we look deeper at the IES Practice Guide for Dropout Prevention, we're going to look at both a PDF and an electronic resource. The link is provided to the PDF, and we're going to go ahead and pull that up. When you click on this link, this is the guide that you will be directed to. It is highly recommended that you go ahead and click on this link. Page 16, you actually can print out a checklist for carrying out the recommendations. And so you would want to print pages 16 to 17. So the second thing that we're going to look at is the electronic resource, and you can access this by clicking on this particular link. You'll notice that the first recommendation is around our data systems that support a realistic number of students that are dropping out, and some connections that we can make with this resource in terms of our MTSS content. So you are certainly familiar now with the idea of a universal screening system. In the research literature, this has also been referred to as an early warning system. And we have considerable evidence for the thresholds that we would be using within this system, and also how that this has been used effectively in many, many districts and schools now across the nation. Connections with this content, you would have seen this in modules 1.2 and 1.3, helping us to define and analyze our core. Also, we'll be going deeper with this information as you're thinking about this very familiar table probably, which is our K-12 universal screening areas. Of course, with this portion, we're going to be focused on those behavior and engagement indicators, or what we'll be calling in module 2.4 behavior, social skill, and attendance areas. What your work will be is to really shore up and define and redefine what that our definitions are around each of these different indicators, because this will help to make sure that the information that we're collecting is valid and reliable. In the course, you'll also find a PDF of this universal screening areas, and this will just be helpful for you as you're doing this work in your district and or school. You're also going to have an opportunity to go a little deeper with our universal screening system flowchart. And of course, with this portion of module 2.4, we will be focused on the portion on the left in terms of attendance, and the portion in the middle around behavior. So what is the second recommendation? The second recommendation is around assigning adult advocates to students at risk of dropping out. In terms of our MTSS content, we're going to be going deeper with this particular module, 2.4, and you're going to notice it in two places in our intervention matrix, or our flowchart. So on the left here, in regards to behavior, as we're thinking about students that may be driven by a need for adult attention or need additional adult attention, we'll connect you with resources for building both a check-in, check-out system and or a mentoring program. Also, this certainly relates in terms of thinking about students that have some attendance needs. Again, you'll see it around our attendance intervention flowchart, and the same types of supports in terms of check-in, check-out, and or an adult mentor. So what is the third recommendation from our Dropout Prevention Practice Guide? So this is to provide academic support and enrichment to improve academic performance. And we have been into this certainly this year in terms of the literacy intervention system from Module 2.2, the math intervention system from Module 2.3, and then what we're going into now, behavior, social, emotional, and attendance intervention system within Module 2.4. So what is the fourth recommendation from our Dropout Prevention Practice Guide? And this is to implement programs to improve students' classroom behavior and social skills. So for this content, you are likely already implementing, at least with your selected schools, Module 1.2 and 1.3, where you have defined your behavior, social, emotional, and attendance core, and you're analyzing that core. We're going to give you an opportunity to check and reflect on how healthy that core is, and then we'll also be going deeper with the intervention piece in 2.4. So what is recommendation number 5? This is personalizing the learning environment and instructional process for students. So again, you are probably very familiar with this work from Module 1.2 and 1.3 and are implementing this, or we're already implementing this in your selected schools. And then you've also had an opportunity to refine and reflect on that work with Module 2.2, 2.3, and then we'll be going deeper with this in terms of Module 2.4. So what is our last and final recommendation, or recommendation number 6? And this is to provide rigorous and relevant instruction to better engage students in learning and provide the skills needed to graduate and serve them after they leave school. So when we're thinking about this portion of content, this is certainly what that you were doing last year and are currently implementing with schools based off of your Module 1.2 and 1.3 work.